crafty friends, it's Shana from Shinduki Art. I love mixed media on my junk journal pages. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to incorporate mixed media while still allowing a lot of space for journaling. I'm also going to include some tips on how to make pages cohesive. I'm going to work on a coffee-stained page adjacent to a page that I've already added an element to. I added the waterfall notepad in a previous video. Using one of my favorite stencils, some green ink and a blending brush, I'm going to do some stenciling on about a third of the page, concentrated on the right bottom section. I used a piece of mesh paper to decorate the top of my waterfall notepad. I'm going to use the same mesh paper as part of my embellishment on my mixed media page. This adds some beautiful texture to the page, so the page has interest and it creates depth. I found two little scraps of paper which match really well with the theme, which I'm going to add at the bottom. And then using a paper that I've already used in my waterfall journal, it is that light green grid paper, I'm going to hand draw some leaves. I'm using a black fine liner pen. This is a little bit like doodling, just go for it. Create an image that's going to be your focal point. This doesn't need perfection, you want it to look hand-drawn. And you don't have to do leaves, you could do a butterfly, you could do an insect, you could do words, whatever suits your theme and whatever you like to do. Of course, you can do this in any color. I'm using black as there is black print on the left page. This is how I will create balance and continuity in the pages. I'm now going to fussy cut my hand-drawn leaves. Place your elements on the page and you can move them around until you find the right spot for them. Before I glue anything down, I am going to add a little bit of paint splatter. I'm using a watered down white acrylic paint and I'm adding just a little bit. This is to help lighten the page and to incorporate the white that we are seeing in the adjacent pages. To help with cohesion, I also want to add a little bit of that brown tissue paper from the dress pattern that I've used in the previous two pages. So I'm just going to add a small piece underneath my little paper stacks. It's just going to peep out a little bit from behind the leaves. It doesn't have to be a lot, it can be subtle. Once you're happy with all the placement of the elements, you can start gluing down. As this mesh paper is really soft, I'm using a glue stick for this portion. I'm then using a liquid craft glue for the harder cardstock pieces. And whoopsies, I've applied the glue on the wrong side. I actually want the pink showing. I'm just going to wipe that off and apply the glue on the correct side. I'm using glue stick for my leaves. The paper I've used is really thin. I'm tucking the stem behind the scrap papers at the bottom of the page, and then I'm going to press all the leaves down. I felt it needed something a little bit more. I have a small piece of scrap paper that has some vintage style numbers on there. I'm going to add that at the bottom with my other little papers. And then I felt like my leaves weren't really popping off the page. So I'm just going to go over the lines with my black fine liner again, just to darken and enhance everything. I had this number from the tissue paper saved. I really wanted to use it somewhere. I think this is the perfect spot. I'm just going to tear out that number and then I'm going to stick it at the bottom of the entire embellishment section. The mixed media elements on this page only take up a portion. There's still lots of journaling space. And I think that finishes it off very nicely. I'm going to add a small amount of Distress ink in this corner. If you do happen to add too much ink, you can use a wet paintbrush to blend it. I'm also going to make little tears in certain parts of the page and curl the little ends up. This gives it a beautiful used look. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this mixed media page in my Big Fat Pink journal. I really hope you enjoyed it and were inspired to create your own. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the little bell so you're notified every time I upload new content. Thanks again for watching, happy creating, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.